Marty Reisman is helping his friend David move furniture. Fourth floor walk-up, no elevator, heavy oak table, awkward angle down the staircase. Marty is 43 years old, in the best shape of his life. Training for the national championship in 5 days. Favorite to win, prize money is $5,000, the biggest purse of the year. Money he desperately needs. Rent is late, debts are piling up. This tournament could solve everything. They're carrying the table down the second floor landing. Marty in front walking backward, David behind pushing forward. The table is heavier than it looked. Solid wood, maybe 200 pounds. Careful on this turn, David says. Marty adjusts his grip, steps down. The angle is wrong. The table shifts. Weight redistributes. Suddenly all the pressure is on Marty's right hand. The hand pinned between table edge and stairwell wall. The table slips 6 inches. Marty feels something crack. Not a clean break sound. A dull internal snap, like a branch breaking inside a tree. Pain shoots up his arm. Immediate, intense. White-hot electricity from knuckles to elbow. "Stop!" Marty yells. They set the table down. Marty pulls his hand free. It's already swelling. The knuckles on his index and middle finger are rising, turning purple. He can't make a fist, can barely move his fingers. "Hospital," David says. "Now." St. Vincent's Hospital, emergency room, X-ray. Doctor returns with films. "Fractured metacarpal," the doctor says, pointing to the image. "Second and third bones. Clean breaks, but definite fractures. You need a cast, 6 weeks minimum. No stress on the hand, no gripping, nothing." 6 weeks? Marty asks. "At least. Maybe 8 depending on healing. You're lucky it's not worse. If the table had hit differently, you could have crushed the whole hand." They put him in a cast, wrist to fingertips, hard plaster, white and heavy. His right hand completely immobilized, fingers frozen in a slightly curved position. Marty leaves the hospital, takes the subway home, sits in his apartment, looks at the cast, looks at the calendar on the wall. National championship starts Monday, 5 days. His right hand, his playing hand, is broken, encased in plaster, useless, $5,000. First place. He needs that money, not want, need. Rent is 3 weeks overdue. Owes money to 4 different people. The tournament was supposed to fix everything. Now he can't play. Can't even hold a paddle. Friday morning, Marty wakes up still thinking about it. The money, the tournament, the hand that won't work. His friend Vincent stops by, sees the cast, shakes his head. "You have to withdraw," Vincent says. "There's no way." "I know." "The tournament officials will understand. Medical withdrawal. You can play next year." "I need the money now, not next year." "There's nothing you can do. Your hand is broken. You can't play ping pong with a broken hand." Marty looks at his left hand, flexes the fingers, picks up a coffee cup, sets it down. "What if I play left-handed?" Marty says. Vincent laughs, stops when he realizes Marty isn't joking. "You're serious?" "I have 5 days. What if I train my left hand for 5 days straight?" "Marty, you're right-handed. You've been right-handed your entire life. You can't just switch hands and compete at a national level. It's impossible." "Maybe, but what if it's not?" "You'd get destroyed in the first round. Embarrass yourself." "Maybe, or maybe I surprise people. What do I have to lose? I'm not playing with my right hand either way. Might as well try with my left." Vincent shakes his head. "This is crazy." "Probably, but I'm doing it anyway." Friday, 11 a.m. Marty goes to the basement where he trains, sets up at the table, picks up his paddle with his left hand. It feels wrong, foreign, like holding a fork with the wrong hand, awkward and unnatural. He serves. The ball goes nowhere near where he intended. Weak, no spin, barely clears the net. Pathetic. He tries again. Same result. The coordination isn't there. His left hand doesn't know how to hold the paddle, doesn't know the angle, the grip pressure, the wrist snap. Everything his right hand learned over 30 years of practice, his left hand has zero knowledge of. He practices for 3 hours, serves, returns, basic strokes. Everything is terrible, weak, inaccurate, clumsy. By 2 p.m., he can barely hit the ball over the net consistently. This is worse than he thought. Way worse, but he keeps going. Friday night, 9 p.m. Marty has been practicing for 8 hours. His left arm aches, his shoulder burns, his hand is cramping. But there's slight improvement, microscopic, but real. He can now hit the ball over the net maybe 70% of the time. Serves land in the correct service box occasionally. Returns go roughly where he aims. He's not good. He's terrible. But he's better than this morning. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Marty is back at the table. Fresh start, day 2, 4 days until the tournament. He practices serves over and over, thousands of serves. The muscle memory is building, slowly, painfully, but building. His left hand is learning what his right hand already knows, the motion, the contact point, the follow-through. By noon, he can serve with basic spin. Not great spin, not the precision he has with his right hand, but functional spin, something an opponent would have to respect. He practices returns, footwork, placement. His left hand is starting to understand the concept of controlled power, not just swinging and hoping, actually directing the ball. Saturday night, 8 p.m., 14 hours of practice today. Marty's entire left side is sore, but he can rally now. Actually rally, not just hit and miss. He can maintain an exchange. 5 shots, 10, 15. The consistency is there. He's still nowhere near his right-hand level, nowhere close, but he's reached basic competency. If he played against a beginner, he'd win. If he played against an intermediate player, he'd be competitive. Against elite players, he'd get destroyed. But that's better than yesterday, Sunday morning. Tournament starts tomorrow. This is his last day to prepare. Marty practices for 12 straight hours. No breaks, just repetition, drilling technique, muscle memory, making his left hand remember things it's never done before. By evening, something clicks. His left hand isn't just copying his right hand anymore. It's developing its own feel, its own rhythm. Different from his right, not better, different. The strokes are slightly different, the timing is slightly different, but it works. He can play, not well, not at his normal level, but legitimately play. Sunday night, 11 p.m. Marty lies in bed. His left arm is dead, completely exhausted. 3 days of intensive training, 72 hours compressed into learning what normally takes years. Tomorrow's the tournament. He's going to play left-handed. With 3 days of practice against the best players in the country, this is either going to be the stupidest thing he's ever done or the most impressive. Monday morning. National Championship. Hotel ballroom in Midtown Manhattan. 12 tables, 64 players. Bracket system, single elimination. Marty arrives. His right hand still in a cast. Visible, obvious. People stare, whisper. Nobody understands why he's here. He checks in at the registration desk. The tournament director sees the cast. "Marty, what are you doing here? You can't play with a broken hand." "I'm playing left-handed." Silence. The director stares at him. "You're joking." "No." "You're right-handed?" "Was. Now I'm left-handed. For the next 6 weeks anyway." "Marty, this is a national championship. You can't just switch hands and expect to compete." "Watch me." The director shakes his head. "This is going to be embarrassing." "Maybe. But I paid my entry fee. I'm playing." Round 1. Marty's opponent is Jeff Chen, ranked 24th in the country. Solid player, not elite, but good. Expects an easy win. They warm up. Jeff hits a few shots, sees Marty playing left-handed, smiles. This is going to be quick. The match starts. Marty serves with his left hand. Basic spin, nothing fancy. Jeff returns easily. They rally. 3 shots, 5. Marty places the ball deep. Jeff attacks. Marty blocks. Returns short. Jeff runs forward. Marty lobs over him. Point 1-0. Jeff looks surprised. Lucky shot, he thinks. They continue. Marty is using pure placement. No power, no fancy spins, just precision. putting the ball in difficult positions, making Jeff work, making Jeff move. Jeff expects Marty to break down, to make errors. But Marty isn't making errors. Every ball comes back, controlled, placed, consistent. First game ends 11-9. Marty wins. Jeff's smile is gone. He's taking this seriously now. This isn't a joke. Marty is actually competitive. Second game. Jeff plays more carefully, but Marty adapts, uses different spins, changes pace, keeps Jeff guessing. The 3 days of intensive practice condensed every ounce of his experience into his left hand. It's not muscle memory. It's intelligent play, reading the opponent, exploiting weaknesses, placing shots where Jeff isn't. Second game ends 11-8. Marty wins. The match is over. Marty wins 2-0 with his left hand. After 3 days of practice, Jeff shakes his hand, looks stunned. How did you do that? 30 years of understanding the game. The hand is just the tool. The brain does the work. Word spreads through the tournament. Marty Reisman is playing left-handed, with a cast on his right hand, and he just won his first match. Round 2. Marty's opponent is Tom Mitchell, ranked 12th in the country, much better than Jeff. Fast, aggressive, powerful. Tom heard about Marty's left-hand situation, doesn't care, plans to destroy him anyway. The match starts. Tom attacks immediately, hard shots, fast pace, trying to overwhelm Marty, but Marty doesn't panic. Blocks, redirects, uses Tom's power against him. Every aggressive shot Tom makes, Marty redirects to a difficult angle, making Tom run, making Tom work. First game is close, back and forth, tied at 9-9, 10-10. Marty serves, Tom returns. Marty places it short. Tom runs forward, attacks. Marty blocks. Tom attacks again. Marty blocks again. Tom overcommits. Marty lobs over him. Point. Game. 11-10. Marty, second game. Tom adjusts. More patient, less aggressive. Long rallies, waiting for Marty to make mistakes. But Marty isn't making mistakes. 3 days of drilling consistency paid off. Every ball comes back. Tom gets frustrated, starts forcing shots, makes errors. Tom wins the second game 11-9, but barely. Third game, deciding game. Whoever wins advances. Marty is exhausted. His left arm is burning. 3 days of training plus 2 matches today. The fatigue is overwhelming, but he pushes through, uses every ounce of experience, every trick, every strategy, places the ball perfectly, makes Tom chase, makes Tom work harder than Marty. Final score, 11-6, Marty wins. The tournament hall is buzzing. Marty Reisman just beat the 12th ranked player in the country with his left hand, with 3 days of practice. This isn't a fluke anymore. This is real. Quarterfinals. Marty faces David Park, ranked 5th, elite player, national-level competitor for 10 years. David knows Marty's reputation, knows he's dangerous even left-handed, prepares seriously. The match is brutal, long rallies, intense exchanges. David is better than anyone Marty faced today, faster, smarter, more experienced. First game goes to David, 11-7. He's reading Marty's left-hand patterns, exploiting the weaknesses. Second game, Marty adapts, changes strategy, uses more variation, different spins, different placements, keeps David guessing. Marty wins 11-9. Third game, both players exhausted. Marty's left arm is barely functional, cramping, shaking, but he fights. The game is close, 10-10 deuce. Marty serves. David returns. Long rally, 12 shots, 15. Marty places it deep. David attacks. Marty blocks. David attacks again. Marty blocks. David hits it long. Error, 11-10. Match point Marty. Marty serves. David returns carefully. They rally. Marty places it short. David runs forward, attacks cross-court. Marty redirects. David attacks again. Down the line, hard, fast. Marty swings, connects. The ball clips the edge of the table. Spins, dies, unreturnable, 12-10. Marty wins. Semifinals, Marty versus Jonathan Lee. Ranked 2nd in the country, one of the best players in America. Impossible odds. Marty is completely exhausted. 4 matches today. His left arm is dead weight, barely responding. Every stroke takes maximum effort. Jonathan is fresh, rested, at full strength. The match isn't close. Jonathan is too good, too fast, too precise. He exploits every weakness in Marty's left-hand game, attacks relentlessly, gives Marty no time to set up. First game, 11-4. Jonathan. Second game, 11-6. Jonathan. Marty loses, 2-0, eliminated in the semifinals. But he placed top 4 at a national championship with his left hand, with 3 days of practice. The tournament director approaches Marty afterward. "I owe you an apology. I thought you were crazy. That was the most impressive thing I've ever seen." "I lost. You made semifinals. You beat 3 legitimate players with a broken hand and 3 days of preparation. That's not losing. That's a miracle." Prize money for semifinalist, $1,200. Not the $5,000 he wanted, but enough to pay rent, enough to cover some debts, enough to survive another month. Marty leaves the tournament, cast still on his right hand, left arm barely functional. But he did it. He competed. He won matches. He proved something nobody thought possible. 6 weeks later, the cast comes off. His right hand is weak, atrophied from inactivity, needs rehabilitation. But Marty doesn't stop training his left hand, keeps practicing, develops it further. Over the next year, he becomes truly ambidextrous, can play competently with either hand. He starts using it strategically, switches hands mid-match to confuse opponents, uses left hand for certain shots where the angle is better, becomes unpredictable, harder to read. The broken hand didn't end his career. It expanded it, forced him to adapt, forced him to innovate, forced him to discover capabilities he didn't know existed. In 1977, 3 years later, a reporter asks Marty about the most impressive thing he ever did in competition. Marty thinks for a moment, mentions the $50,000 win, the marathon sessions, the comeback victories, then adds, "But the thing I'm most proud of? Making semifinals at nationals with my left hand in 3 days of practice. Not because I won, because I didn't quit. Because when every logical person said it was impossible, I tried anyway, and proved it wasn't impossible. Just really, really hard." The reporter asks if he'd recommend others try switching hands. Marty laughs. "God, no. It was stupid, painful, borderline reckless. But sometimes stupid and reckless is the only option available. Sometimes you adapt or you fail. I chose adapt." Years later, that tournament becomes part of Marty's legend. The time he broke his hand 5 days before nationals and played left-handed anyway. The time he turned catastrophe into capability. People remember the wins, the money, the championships. But Marty remembers the lesson. That limitation forces innovation. That adversity reveals capability. That 3 days of desperate practice can accomplish what seems impossible if you refuse to accept defeat. The hand healed. The cast came off. The tournament passed. But the understanding remained that the human body is more adaptable than we believe. That skills can be transferred, that muscle memory can be built in days if the motivation is strong enough, that sometimes the worst thing that happens to you forces you to become better than you were. Marty Reisman broke his right hand. Tournament in 3 days. What he did shocked everyone, including himself.